So see, if you are dealing with compressor, so you know how compressor runs. Some air will come with certain enthalpy, and velocity may be there, velocity may not be there. Okay, velocity term is not mandatory for compressor. Inlet and exit velocity I'm talking. Now, whatever enthalpy is here, this enthalpy will be H1, and this enthalpy will increase and it becomes H2, because we have to rotate the compressor, so we have to supply a form of energy, that is work. So in case of compressor, you are supplying the work and already one input is here from H1. Consider there is no velocity involved. So the entire big formula will be very small formula. Total how many energies are input energies? H1 plus work done. This is giving you a new enthalpy H2. That's all. And just now you have seen H formula. Your H is having direct formula mCp dt. So when you are writing here del T or dt, it means you are writing change in enthalpy. Change in enthalpy. But if you want to write exactly H1, then you should not write here del. Then you should write here mCp T1. It means only because of T1 temperature, what is the enthalpy? I mean at this section. Like that. So I am giving you one question which is based on the application of this kind of question. So suppose I am giving question. You have a nozzle. In this nozzle, any flow is coming with V1 velocity, and this side flow is going with V2 velocity. Here temperature is T1, here temperature is T2, and whenever there is a nozzle, there is no heat transfer, there is no work transfer, because nozzle is a simple pipe. So you have to give your V2 formula in terms of Cp and temperature. Can you guys try this? Try. And yes, V1 should also come. Okay, now I will try. This given question is very easy. If you have nozzle, then at the inlet, which energy is entering? Kinetic energy, that is half mv square. You have temperature, which energy will be entering? Enthalpy, that will be H1, that is nothing but Cp T1. Then again exit, half m v2 square, again Cp T1 multiply m also. So right, this equation is your input equation, because it is a nozzle. So in advance you should know there is no heat transfer, there is no work transfer. Nozzle is not made for heat work transfer. In compressor we have work transfer. That's all. So equate both. So m v1 square plus m cpt1 is equal to m v2 square plus m cpt2. Almost done. M will get cancelled, square is here. So you got your V2 square. Rearrange everything. So your V2 will look like under root, you have half also, 2 Cp T2 minus T1 plus C1 square. Mostly in case of nozzle, they don't give V1 square. Mostly in case of nozzle, they don't give V1 velocity. So this V1 you can put 0. Okay, remaining questions I will give you in PDF. Now we will understand what is called Bernoulli equation. Bernoulli equation is very easy. So I will write Bernoulli equation in terms of incompressible flow, and I will explain what is that. Guys, this concept clear? Okay. Now see. Right now, whatever topic we are discussing, in that we are discussing steady flow. So if your flow is steady, then your density and all density will not change with time. It means we cannot discuss compressible flow here. So our flow is incompressible right now in this topic. So because flow is incompressible, so you have Bernoulli equation. Bernoulli equation says total pressure P naught is equal to static pressure plus dynamic pressure. So in this part, static pressure formula I have given you. Dynamic pressure formula is half rho V square. Rho is density, which is constant throughout the process, throughout the flow, and V is the velocity, which may vary. So you can see, suppose there is this kind of nozzle and you have flow going. If the flow will go in the nozzle, then your velocity will increase. I am considering subsonic flow, means Mach number is less than 0.3. Always remember, if your Mach number is less than 0.3, then flow is subsonic. If Mach number is more than 0.3, then supersonic. Okay. So if the velocity, if this kind of convergent duct you have, what is convergent? This kind of shape you say convergent shape, and this kind of shape you say divergent shape. So in convergent shape, if the flow is subsonic, then you go ahead, your velocity will increase. It means dynamic pressure will increase. So to balance the total pressure, static pressure will decrease. So this idea is done by Bernoulli's equation, Bernoulli equation. So in Bernoulli equation, your P naught is equal to P plus half rho V square. This is your Bernoulli equation. Okay, this P naught is constant, and here density is also constant. So some people can also write the equation by dividing density. So you have a constant number here, and this is also constant number. If you divide constant number by constant number, you'll be getting a new constant number. So divide throughout by the density. So P naught by density, P by density plus half V square. So this P is pressure, rho is density. Here you cannot write constant because pressure is not constant, but this part is constant. So you can also write V square by 2 plus P by rho is equal to constant. This is another format of Bernoulli equation, which makes not different sense, it has same sense. So this is sufficient to discuss. If you have polytropic process, then already you know you should use N whenever it is required. Now we have some examples. So now we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 total 9 examples we have in this case. So example in previous for closed system also we have 8 examples or sometimes 10 examples, and now for the open system also we have 8 to 10 examples. So those examples I will give you. So see guys, I am giving you example also and exercise questions also. Examples are very important. You should solve everything. Exercise problems, whenever you are free, you can solve 1 1 1 1 so that you can keep yourself in practice. And once the first law goes over, then you have to solve previous year gate questions. from zero to first law. Now we have to move to the next topic, that is called unsteady flow type. I mean, you have first law, already you applied for closed system, you applied for open system. Now we are going to apply for in open system we had steady flow and unsteady flow. So steady flow over. Now we'll understand for unsteady flow. Okay. See, either you have steady flow or you have unsteady flow. Main thing is energy balance. So what kind of difference you have in steady flow and unsteady flow? Let me give one example. Suppose guys, you have a pipe. In the pipe, mass is flowing. So this mass will flow in this direction throughout the pipe. So this kind of flow we are considering as steady flow. But imagine if I will make a hole here and I will connect another pipe. So some portion of the mass will flow through this. It means from here to here you have different mass, but after this you have different mass. So it is example of unsteady flow. Some mass, whatever is coming in this direction, is giving a new flow. So from here to here it will behave like a steady flow. From here to here, steady flow. From here to here, steady flow. But overall it is unsteady flow. So we should know how to balance energy at every section. Again, it is very, very easy. You can clearly understand at which section which mass is entering, at which section which mass is entering. So it will be better if I will take unsteady flow in next class, because you have to solve so many examples. Once you are comfortable with closed system examples and open system examples, then you can understand this part in more detail. Otherwise it will be like just finishing the topic. I don't want to do in that way. So we'll do one thing.